I just came from our vaccine meeting that we have weekly, chaired by the Secretary of HHS. And really, we're hearing the vaccine trials, 2 of them are enrolling, and the enrollment is going well. This is the last phase of that evaluation. Vaccines are being manufactured, and that's going well. And the third step is, does it work? Wow. And we're hoping to get that information throughout this same quarter that I'm talking about, in the fall quarter. And then being able to immunize individuals, because we know that we'll have vaccine if it's shown to be efficacious. And then every American that's at risk needs to come forward and get vaccinated. And so that's the 4th step of it.
I'm assuming you would want, everyone vaccinated, or who should get vaccinated?
Well, first and foremost, the individuals at highest risk and highest exposure. But we have a group, an independent group right now, making recommendations of who should be vaccinated first, who should be vaccinated second, who should be vaccinated third. I mean, certainly we would want to vaccinate those that we know are at the highest risk.
Some folks would be concerned about the federal government. This is a government question about whether or not vaccine should be mandatory for all Americans. In other words, you can't go to a grocery store or sporting event or wherever, get on a plane without having the vaccine.
Well, that's an interesting suggestion, and I'm going to take that back. Thank you for making it.
When I said the planes and things like that, is that, I don't know if you were being tongue-in-cheek or not.
No, I hadn't heard that. No one has asked me that question.
About the planes and all of that.
No one has asked me that question. And I think that's really a very important question.
On churches, obviously, we're CBN, the 700 Club. You've seen the headlines. There are a lot of pastors, especially out in California and other places, say, look, we're going to hold indoor services. I know the folks in California, for example, want us to have an outdoor service, but they believe, for whatever reasons, they want to have it indoors. What do you say to pastors that are having those services indoors? Many of them actually without masks, but even some that do have masks. What's the message here?
Churches are filled with people who are compassionate and passionate for each other. Let's show that compassion for each other and the humility to really say, now we know masks work. And so wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart, sure, you can sit as a family, but let's wear a mask to respect the other family. And let's wear a mask to protect that 83-year-old who's coming to church. Let's not make church only for the healthy. Let's ensure that everybody can be there. And in order for everybody to be there, we have to be in masks and socially distanced.
Some California officials will say outdoor only, but you're saying, well, indoor with certain requirements.
Well, if the same officials are having meetings, because they have to really discuss what to do with the virus, if people are meeting and socially distancing in federal or state buildings, then you can bring that same safety to any American. But you need to really be rigid about wearing a mask and socially distancing.
From a health perspective, there will be a lot of people voting in November, and I know they've talked a lot about mail-in balloting, but what about just going to the polls? Is it safe to go to the polls?
Well, I can tell you it has been safe for me to go to Starbucks and pick up my order. So if I can go into Starbucks, wait in my line, socially distanced, and...
It is safe to go to the polls.
Well, certainly I have gone into Starbucks.
Yes.
So if it's safe for me to go into Starbucks in the middle of Texas and Alabama and Mississippi that have very high case rates, then, I can't say that it would be different waiting in line in the polls.
And there's going to be critics, and there's going to be, everybody left and right, and you just want to do science. You want to be a doctor. You want to help people. But how has this been for you personally to kind of deal with everything swirling around you?
Well, like Dr. Fauci, I do get death threats, and I get text messages that are horrific, and I get stuff sent to my home where my daughters are that is shocking, and their phones get shocking messages. All of that has been happening since March. I'm very devoted to making sure that these cases go down, the hospitalizations go down, and critically, that people stop succumbing to this virus.